What up, guys? What up? 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 How y'all doing? Today I did some more creativity. I took drama at Newman Smith High School. I did a thing with Crip Mac on there, and I did some other creativity this morning. So I took drama at Newman Smith High School. So I wanted to show people how I can be so creative and show my personality when I was at Norman Smith because when you're acting and I took drama and things, it's to show people a side of me that many people didn't get a side of me. Get a side of me. Only Norman Smith, Miss Gulo at Norman Smith High School in Carrollton, Texas, and so many other people got to see that part side of me of my personality and my craft. So this time I'm showing y'all something, and I have been giving y'all all of me in 2008 and 7. This time I'm giving you more of me in 2019 and 2020, 21, 22, 23 on my TikToks and all of my brand other than doing music. I'm showing you all of my acting skills, my personality, and all of those things that I can bring to bring the creative joy out, and I can show y'all how to do things in a very creative way. So me just showing people what I can do, it can be a very new thing, and I'm glad I have. When you see my work, I went to Dallas, Texas, rapper, so you see my creativity. And you go to at Hubert HUBERT, get money stopped away. You're seeing more of me than more than anything, but it calls patience and strategize, putting your mind together. I done got like 6 or 8 tablets and those went out because of my son, but I bounced back and more and did more work on Likey. I got 50 accounts. Hey, how y'all doing? So this way we can bring and show more of what we got to do. And I think those are the things, one of the things what we have to learn. I had to learn and we all gotta learn. Other people in community now they not on the same level as you and they don't want to be. And you get like I had to deal with old friends, my marriage and certain individuals that my brand didn't match. I was always about my business and people wanted to get party and high and do things. So I found the way to order to get where I'm trying to go. And when I had a job at 14 and 15 years old, my name is Hubert. When I'm going to Newman Smith, I'm hanging out with my friends at Perry and I'm working at Big Lots. And I took in drama on the football team and doing all of those things. I like even when I wasn't doing those things, sometime in the summertime, I go to school. I'm at Creekview. I'm going to summer school. People never know that. Like I'm at summer school. I'm doing so much thing. I'm on school on a weekend when Sabine and them wanted to do what they do. And I'm going to elementary schools and thrift stores and nursing homes. And it always have been bigger than we ever imagined before. But I always had that creativity, but I never got the chance to show it because we was focusing on the group and on those things. But I didn't have the mindset that they wanted the party to get high and people wanted to have things. I was so much behind those needs. You know, so when y'all go in there, you get to see my acting skills. And I back in '08, in '07, or wherever that is, I was in theater back in '08 and '07. I think we could have presented our play to Ms. Gulo a lot more better. And I think she can tell at Newman Smith that um we didn't do the things that we needed to do. And I can tell that like we just put it together. Because the way that parents act with their daughter and don't let us hang out the way we want in theater, like after school to even make something happen. And and it's hard for us to make something happen in the way the parents behave. Yeah, I had to deal with that. I think we could have did a lot more better with Miss Kulo at Newman Smith. I mean, it's the difference when you working. There's two boys and a girl, and we got to partner with each other and come up with something that's crafty in the play. But I look back at it and I'm like, damn, I think we could have. I think we could have. I think we could have did a whole better job. Did anything in front of Miss Gulo at Newman Smith, but it was just a put together situation because the girl parents, and I think that's the most thing when we are trying to show our creativity. The parents can be the big factor on how we present our work in the classrooms, and we do everything beside those things. And like, man, this guy that hung out with the mirror, he stayed right by. I got into it with him, but I never did get along with him, but we always was able to work it out in the schools and work things out and get to those things of where we are creative. Yeah, yeah. It just I'm bringing more out of the situation. Anything that we do, I'm bringing more. I had to put Dallas, Texas on the thing, and I'm doing my acting career. So I just posted some of this to show a little more of a feedback and what I want to do. So those things are very crucial to the environment where we come at, right? So so you get to see a side of me that nobody else seen, but it's gonna take time. And let me tell you something. One of the lessons that we learn in life that we can depend on businesses to help us grow. And sometimes colleges in Texas, I told you I took photography when I was in college back in '08, '10, '10, 2010, 11. And the hardest thing, if I can have other teachers help me out of ceramics class or beat class and other students, but the one thing we don't got in photography class and not depend on students in Dallas, Texas, and Brooklyn. My B class, he's a big guy, I forgot his name, but he got glasses. He was really a good teacher. He set me by his desk every day. And Sarankin was a lot different because people don't know I used to go to college while I was in school, and after I got out of high school, I still went. But one class I took is photography, and the students did not want to help me out. So it's hard when selfishness is a part of it, and people get mad because you don't need the opinion of the city of Dallas and the community behavior of how they act in the classroom. And that's a threat when you got other people that got their opinion up in Brookhaven colleges and students that and teachers that don't see the point of views of somebody work. And I don't want them to get that chance because people gonna take you for granted wherever those things is. So right now we are doing a lot. I didn't have that when I remember sitting in photography class and at Brookhaven, like I'm asking everybody, like I never did this before. This is something new. Nobody wanted to help. Like if it's big class, I had a teacher there, and if it's ceramics, I came there with my class, but also the ceramic teacher know me and a couple of other people from Brookhaven. I remember seeing them at a restaurant in Louisville with my mom and other people that know me in the ceramic class with my class. I see them at a restaurant in Louisville 3 years or 4 years ago, and ceramics can be a fun thing, and you can build. I got this little thing with my little hat with my H on it. My little, I still got some of that stuff. I gotta find some of it. Ceramics can be a fun thing for kids too. If you want to take ceramics, that kids want to go with their teacher to ceramics. Like they need to start doing that like that at regular because I was so happy to have that around me. So it was not hard for me to actually go back when I got out of school to go to ceramics again and work with the teachers that I know at ceramics because I went my class at Newman Smith and all of those things. But when we having those things and we dealing with those things, we dealing with students that don't like to participate and guidance. I didn't have a problem with my beat class. Those are the things I didn't have a problem in those things, but it was just ceramics and beat class that was the problem. You know, at Brookhaven College, but the photography is people that want to help students being selfish. So we get to a point now where we want to do this on our own now, right? And I can't depend on Walmart to grow. And Governor Abbott got a most problem where they want to complain and they want to complain about something and godness and selfish behavior and people that act racist and you have to be the one that grows on your own when you don't have guidance of teachers and students not willing to step. And that's why they are so little. And that's why students got to realize that's why you're not getting, even when you have a college, you're not getting where you're trying to go because you're not willing to help out. And I think that's the point of being where, and I say, why everybody, you can have 8 of you students that got you help, and not just one teacher getting paid, other 8 employees that can get paid in the school just for being more of a leader and stuff. And you know, I was on my life talking to one of the little teenager friends, and she got on to me like, "Oh, do you not a multi?" Yes, I'm not a multitask. I've been multitasking for a while since I was a kid. It didn't matter the challenges that I had. She called herself. I missed them to death. Ash, Ashley, everybody on here. I just think it's better when you Texas got a problem, and I think when you get around other mindset, it's selfish mindsets and people community that think wrong. And I think when when I was on here and they say Hubert, we kind of know you had a little discipline. And Texas is the problem where yeah, I miss these little youngers, man. You have a better relationship than other selfish parents' mindset in Texas. I see the difference. I see the difference between parents and the difference that people don't take that out of control. But it got a lot of and the girl mama watched me. She saw my face. I know she saw it. But but you have a lot of other selfish behavior. Nobody don't want to deal with Dallas. Nobody don't want to deal with the society that thinks wrong. And I know one of my friends' mama saw my face. She saw it, and she just didn't tell her daughter. Like she saw it. She know goddamn well she saw that. Um, but the selfish mindsets and the selfish the way. Or look at Ryan. Look at the way he thinks, and he tried to embarrass me and ruin me. That's something that you don't do a powerful cloud. And I went to the civil rights with that situation because you can't let a preacher say stuff for profit and don't expect a response back for those things. You don't expect a response back for those things. So if they would have known, see, they just so stupid. If they would have known what Joe Biden them know, they wouldn't have did what they did. They wouldn't have did what they did, you know. And I asked for the arrest of Judge Kennedy and the prosecutors. And I will have what I want at the end of the day, guys. I will get what I want. And I don't want to hear no sorry. I don't want to hear nothing. When I go to court, and if I get arrested, and I made this very clear to the Justice Department of civil rights against the state of Texas because of racism and lies, and you're not arresting Judge Kennedy and they're not getting away that easy. They are not getting away that you're not getting you're not getting away that I don't care. You know you was wrong. You know you lost. In the first day I met you, The first day when I handed that paper, you saw me in the hallway with those papers, and you know you lost with your racism, and you carried out that. Before I handed that paper in that judge, they looked at me. They know they already lost, and they carried out that racism threat. So it won't be that hard for the act for your job, like I told the Justice Department. I want to see you get arrested right in front of me. I'm not taking no for an answer. God ain't taking no for an answer when we are trying to put Judge Kennedy going to be arrested, and if they don't have it, that's a racist. Anything that's a racist threat between black and white. So I want to tell y'all something where I had to learn, but also I had to thank Demir, because me and Demir, I had to watch Demir with computers because we stopped hanging out. We don't hang out no more. But and that's Sabina's cousin. He played Assassin's Creed, and he made other people like I always watched them, and I always wanted the police to know you. My Get Money starts with Hubert Sellers, Hubert F. Baby, Hubert Jr. Sellers, Baby Legend. But go to Love Diamond Music Capital 123 on YouTube. Talk is cheap. Wish You Hate Boy, Young Prophets, shout out. You want to see all my content on there. But we guys, we can't deal with everybody in that format, right? Like you can't feel like that. And you can't deal with certain people that give that. The most thing in my relationship, I tell my brother, I deal with women that ain't strong enough. They let people intimidate them and ain't strong enough for me. You know, Crystal, even one of my exes didn't even know, like, I'm going to schools, I'm doing this and that, I'm going to colleges. I got other things to do when I'm doing stuff. I'm hanging out, I'm doing, I, you know, I, you know, one of the things I remember having my evaluation done, and this was at Newman Smith, first and second year, whatever that is. And it's to show what I'm good at. It's I'm more good at my hands. I never did worry about that. Then they asked me about what goes in the world, and they're like, "Oh, we can't change what goes in the world." And then they asked me, "Do you believe?" Yes, because the thing with the lawyers and people, I always wanted to plan in the moment. They wanted to live in the moment, and those things when you get people that don't got the same vision as you as they want to grow in high school and they take it step by step and don't have that vision of where they want to go. And that's gonna be the bit. I was just telling Immaculate, a friend in Dallas, that do song with mirrors and throw your money in the air, and I was playing it and on my other social media platforms. And those things and back to the basic, those things and the thing is, um people let people intimidate them they strength. I can't be the only one that's not paying attention to the drama and the bull crap and the stupidity that's going on. Like I tell y'all teenagers, like and I told them out here, they tell me about their relationship. The most thing that I had to deal with is jealous cousins and jealous friends that don't have the same thing as you. And you have a girlfriend and they boyfriends are not doing nothing for them. And they just getting high and stuff. And that's a threat. And Sabina didn't realize that in Carrollton, Texas, dealing with a lot of other people, dealing with a lot of other people, and they didn't realize that. And she get that. But a woman, I tell y'all to me, don't make the same mistakes that Sabina made because a person and other people made in my life. Because a person would be when you got a PUSY. And if you're a teenager and you on your job and you doing what you need to do, and they will put another guy in your face to distract you to try to get to someone else, to get to you, to get to your boyfriend. So You have to be, and I tell these kids, yeah, please, if y'all gonna make y'all relationship work as a team, you gotta catch out to the spiritual behavior. You gotta block your friends out, their cousins out, and you have to do that. Is your time. You can't let those things in because of jealousy. And I'm spending more time with person friends more than I do them. I'm treating them the CCs. You're going to CCs. We hanging out. I hung out with Demir more than anything. Going paying for Demir movie when he didn't have no money. And I'm the only one having money at those things, and I'm doing stuff, and you not there. And you dealing with childish behavior. And this is 14. My first income tax check. And I was with this guy from Baltimore. And I asked him, where was my reward at when I worked? I've been working since 14 and 15 years old. What a reward that I don't know about all of that. And when you talking about Social Security, and I'm talking about where my reward at. But my mom only had to take me one time to the 24-hour place, across the street from by Turner. You got the wing stop, you got everything over there in Carrollton, Texas. And used to take me everywhere over there in that direction, right? Like literally with that. I had to deal with those things in those formats. But bam, but I'm coming with check. You get at Big Lots, you get paid every Friday. Sometimes my check is 100, sometimes it's a 50. It depends on the day of what I wanted. But I didn't get that job just by going out there and this. I got that job by participating in my school, Norman Smith. And man, Edward and them, and we was like at Big Lights, like I asked them, and they was like, Hubert, you have been working consistency, and I want you. But that didn't mean just because I got a job there, I still had to participate, and that was the most important thing. Like, if you're gonna have a job, Edward and all the rest of them in Big Lights and Kevin, it didn't matter if I got a job there. I still had to come in the morning with my class and participate with them and all of that. And that's what the rule was. And it didn't matter or that. So, and when I still got out to school and I still came after school, I was still able at 14 and 15 years old. And I argued with this guy from Baltimore about it. And, I worked like y'all don't appreciate us in knowledge. I've been working till my first income tax was $5. And it took me 3 years to kind of, and like I didn't feel like I $5. My mom, you better be happy for that. You a teenager, you're not allowed to work all that many. But on the days that my mama, the boss act like your mama allowed to pick you up. If you're a little work in the summertime, it's a little different. But if it's on a weekend and on a Friday, so your mama's allowed to pick you up, you just gotta she gotta pick you up. Your parents, nobody else gotta can pick you up. You know what I'm saying? But your parents can pick you up. So that was the most definitely why I had the most good a time when I'm standing a little bit late because they don't stay open that late, Big Rock School. I was staying close in time and all the rest of those things. And and rest of that. I remember I was just telling Billy's sister, they said, Billy, you gotta know Billy, like literally know Billy. When Dolores tried to play me, she know Chris Palmer and Demir and Billy pushed her off because you ain't gonna try to play my partner like that. And she don't have that relationship with Billy and us because the way she is. I remember my teacher telling us she used to like you till she started hearing all of those rumors about you in the hallways. I said, if you're gonna go listening to other people, how can we understand it? And those things and with those things and the behavior, even when I was at Mary Grimes and Sabina was going there and she tried to play me, and people don't try to play you. That's what women does. Like, but I didn't care about all of that. I don't need you, Ashley, what that track is. I never need a person and how they act. And Me and this Mexican girl at 7th period, like I had like a lot of years left, and she was really beautiful. She was intelligent. She had a kid. She was going to school, and she only had a couple of weeks till she graduated at Newman Smith. And she said, and me and her used to always have in Miss Chastity class in the last period. We used to always have that great conversation. But Dolores never used to be active like that. And I think even when a classmate was kind of try to get into me, Miss Chastity didn't like that because the personality was different. And she didn't like the conflict. I seen him as my teacher, Miss Chastity. Miss Chastity wasn't that like the let that happen. It wasn't because of me. It wasn't because of me. It was just because the way the other class, and it wasn't because of me. And I had to look at that. It was not because of me. It's because they not fully on the same level as me. And Miss Chastity let me and one of my classmates go to private. It wasn't because of me. And I had to realize that I was a little more advanced than that. It wasn't because of me. And that's what you have to understand. The best decision I made in life was going Miss Gula at Newman Smith telling me to go to moving on up. And I had 4 more years left. I didn't graduate to end of 2010. And I still had those things to create. And when I graduated, when I got out of there, and when I got out, I was so I had a job lined up. We get the ticket to open in the schools and everybody, Mr. Dolores, we getting that is a yeah, is a tiff. You already know. You already know. We doing those things, and I got the job at U-Haul for 5. I didn't like it because sometimes when you sit there with the ticket to work program, or they come in there one time, and sometimes they don't go. You have to be the one in the interviews. You have to be the one that putting up with the crap, and all they doing is filling out the application. We got to put up with stuff that we understand what we are trying to do. And those are the big theory of those. And I remember my first time going to co-op and doing my first year and a job at Albertsons before they had a Walmart by Troy. They had an Albertsons, and they turned me down, like literally turned me down, like in the racism hung up in my face. And you dealing with that certain things. You dealing with that. Like I just had to tell the Justice Department, I want you to look at the camo from a Kroger's. I had to sue Kroger's for a Kroger's employee that denied me of a job because he was being racist of my handwriting, and he come into Walmart at 2996 intimidating me. Those are the things. If you catching old managers, old people that didn't give you a chance, and they see you doing something. My name is Hubert Sellers, Hubert, and they see you doing stuff that becomes a racist environment. You know, and you can't give one thing y'all kids gotta realize, don't give other people parents a chance when they got more power. And I'm not giving it Sabina that going when they have more power than anything and give them and act like they play dumb and act like those things. You gotta know what you're working when people, family and friends take you for granted. And you can't allow people to I have never been broken. I have never been to a certain point where I can be the way that I am. See, one thing I had to tell people when I was a little kid, I was on my other thing, like literally, I tried to harm myself. No, it was never that, but when I was in New Orleans, I had to get admitted to the hospital. That was never was the thing that the economy, the way the society is as a kid where people make you think you ain't good enough because how other black people act and how other people bullying, calling names and leaving everybody else out and those things are out. I went through a lot more stuff and doing and all of those things in those formats. It was more as people like when family My brother holding me and to my ladies and family, and we the one that's not getting hurt. You know, I don't hold grudges on a lot of things because we could talk about sexual abuse when you was a kid and those things that happened when you was a kid. But I can't get mad at those things and I talk about how parents not gonna listen. And that sometimes you can't make people understand what you're of those things. Some people not gonna understand the understanding of other things when your parents in at work and you're in the care of other people. When you're a kid and that's something, a lot of things I hold in, but I can't blame anybody. 'Cause sometimes people never gonna acknowledge those things. And that's where I don't like the Tyler Perry movie. I don't like the Tyler Perry movie. It's a phony, it's a fiction because you're trying to stop somebody from healing. And you're trying to stop somebody from healing wounds. And I don't think that was an inspiration movie. It was a phony how that put together because that's not real life. You're trying to cover up a wound that needs to be healed. So we had to deal with those things in those formats. And and we can't always blame it on it. It's not gonna get people are not gonna admit it, but we have to realize something was bigger. So I had to get admitted to a hospital because I faked my death when I was about 8, 7 years old, whatever that is. And with the shower, and that was the critical thing when we dealing with things. And that's the reason why I got admitted to the hospital when I was a little kid. But the way that people treat people as his brother with friends and all the rest of those things, and certain things you feel like you're left out. You feel like you left out. And people gotta understand, people call you retarded. I had all of those things in a way, a black person in New Orleans in Metairie talking about we don't want no dumb and black hip hop is the way it is because the way that black woman, I was called that in New Orleans, and I was always in regular class in Metairie, and a person asked me, Hubert, they used to like you before you cut your hair, but I'm like one of the person I went to fan and then Metairie and didn't thing with, and those things had to understand, but I had to realize what we dealing with here. I have an argument with my brother about my dad, but I can't, we gotta think time for the time that he spent with us. It's new. Like I can't always hold those things and like hold up that your dad spend a minute with your kid and see them. That's what you got. I'm not to sit up there like too short to be with all of those things. I remember my dad used to take me on the New Orleans Bridge, on the West Bank little bridge. He used to have me on his lap and drink. And those things, sometimes it's not all the way it's about I had to, when I was a kid, I really, it was my 9-year-old, 8-year-old birthday. And we were staying at our Mimo house on Marrero. And I was playing pin on a donkey. And my mama, my brother's dad pushed my mom when he found out he had another, and I hated that my mama got hit on my birthday, and I hated those things in those situations. It was hard for me to see. It was hard for me to actually at 8 years old for my mama to get pushed by my brother's dad because of another woman. And I had to deal with that. That was a traumatized on my birthday, and I had to deal with that. And I'm playing pin on a donkey, and I had to deal with that and how the conflict of those things was. And I'm sitting at that pin on the donkey as it was the neighbors, and we had we didn't have to ask the donkey. We had the paper on the wall And all of those things. And that hurted me the most when I was a kid. And I had to understand that like I'm traumatized for that. You sometimes you wish you can do more at 8 or 7 years old, but you know, those things I had to understand like literally. So I had to understand those things like literally. You know, I never told my mama this. We stand on Lakeland Drive, and this guy that lived down the street at Reeve. He goes to Reeve, and he on Lakeland down with Cornell. He tried to assault me, sexual assault me in the backyard down the street. And I never told. I said, "Whoa, I don't rock like that, man." And he go to Reeve, and like, and I used to date his girlfriend, his sister. I used to date his sister, and he goes in there and he try to hump, and like I don't rock like that, man. Like, and that traumatized me more because I thought he was my friend, and we go through stuff like that. But I can't blame it on nobody because I hold that in for a while. I was like, whoa. And at the time, you got to realize you got Fantasy Williams and you got Reeve on the same bus with each other on the school bus. So you got certain things on there where you uh uh um where you're going through that. You got certain, and they had Fantasy Williams and Reeve when you dealing with certain schools. So they go get Fantasy Williams and then they go get Newman Smith. No, they go get Fantasy Williams, then they go get Reeve. So those are the things that we had to deal. We had to deal with middle schools on there with high schools. So I had to deal with that conflict of those things. So when I'm going through stuff like that, you know, it is I'm going through stuff like that, and I had to actually and you know, and that was the most important thing, you know, going through stuff with that situation. But it's about one thing: you got to face your problems, you got to face the past issues, and you have to heal from it. But never let businesses take you for granted. Never let racism take you for granted. You know, and racism at Kroger's came and intimidated me. And I had to sue Kroger's, and they're gonna find out the truth what I give the Justice Department and what I give them, the same guy that had a racist problem when he came in that scene. We are doing stuff different of where we want to go in life. And I want people to see that, like, you know, I'm not trying to argue or fight with anybody, and that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make things happen and chase my third dream. The time to go, and we're gonna do things right. And we're gonna do things in our plate and wanna and we just gotta maintain. So I was able to do something else with my work and show more of my creativity. And I hope y'all like what y'all see out of those things. And stop letting people take you for granted. Stop letting racism of business take you for granted. I'm gonna tell you, it comes with jealousy. It comes with all of those things. CFB character Texas. So I want them to know we are not. I'm gonna tell you when people take people's stuff for granted. They don't give a chance to people that have confidence. You got to give people confidence to be where they need to be. And that these store managers and these managers, that's why I told my son, never let nobody tell you what you can't do. These racist managers, I'm gonna tell you what I had to deal with. Charles. Charles judged me at 12, 16, the first day I met him in orientation. And the motto that I kept, let me show you what I can do when I get on that floor. But he didn't want to give me that chance. Him and Steven Russell didn't want to give me that chance. And when you dealing with those type of people, it's a different. When I James was a little different, but I'm gonna tell you how that stopped that. Where Nash and Neo tried to embarrass me in orientation, and they tried to do the same thing 12, 16 did, and that's not right. And like you don't have to go through, and you don't have to go through that, and that's why I didn't get the job because of as a thing because of Nash and Neo behavior. I was supposed to be an unloader, but that unloader got took it down because of racism of neglect of saying things they don't supposed to be saying at 2996 in the orientation. So I want to tell you something but behind those means and those do you have an issue? Get money start the way Hubert Sellers. I'm gonna love Diamond, Mirza Kaplan, 1, 2, 3. Don't allow people to. I never had that problem with Sabina's and family because Sabina's mom had a disability, and I know they don't think of that race. I know that they don't think like that. And Mirza's mom get a disability, and I know that different, and they don't think like that. And just for them telling me about Social Security, and I know it's something different about them. So I that was never was the problem between me and her. So if you think that was the problem, that was never the problem between that situation. That was never was Mirza never had a no, that was never was the problem with Mirza or Sabina's family. It never was the problem with those things because Mirza mama get disability. And I used to be up there in Carrollton, Texas with Mirza's assistant, and they told me about 5 or 6 times they have a problem other than neglect. I stepped up. I got tired of it. I'm not gonna let you know. That's called Washington. Let's go to and the lady in Washington, the call center got me to Ashley. She told me you need to reach out to the U.S. Congressman. You need to reach out to Ms. Nancy Pelosi and all the rest of them. So when I talked to somebody in Washington call center, and I did exactly that, and I did what she told me to do. So I reached out to Ms. Nancy, and I reached out to other people, and I started putting myself out there on social media to get heard. I started letting people hear my calls, and distance. Sometimes you got to go to distance. You got to be able to put these call center on blast and let the public hear how they behave. You gotta risk it all, and you sometimes you gotta risk that your information is not there, and that's not a bad thing. We gotta see the behavior, and the public gotta see the behavior. But my name is Hubert Sellers, and that was never was the case. But we should not have to deal in a racial environment. So he's gonna give me my money from 12, 16. He's gonna give me my money from 2996. He's gonna give me my money from this Walmart. He's gonna give me my money from Addison. He's gonna give me my money from all that. So you say you don't need my help, and these women gonna think they thirsty when you and it's the environment people want you to forgive, but you with them. Those are the things that have no meaning because you got money, and that's where women think they can take advantage of those things. That it don't work like that. And the racist business is they need to act like it don't work like the society need to act like when you pick a side and when that person decide to stand up for itself, then the pieces of others want to come together because You so busy and you telling me don't judge on Skyline News. That's not the case. Because you're a threat to me. You do it once, you do it again in your society points of views. And I can't give you that chance to do that to that problem. Like literally do that to those things. Like literally. We can't get that. We can't get these type of people those things. I can walk around like I remember going to Cash and other friends. My friend Cash, he went to Newman Smith. We're going to Brookhaven. Say he was in the subway, Brookhaven. Go holler at this girl. And I go holler. If her mind stuck up in hatred and mind and cold-hearted, how can I be when I'm gentle, nice, and I'm trying to see here, and she's been stuck up in me. And hatred, her mentality as a black woman in the mindset and spiritual ain't right. So when we dealing with those things and we dealing with those conflicts and how we can be more, that's the principle of it. But now I'm University of Texas, like, yeah, we gotta wait on that. No, I'm not waiting on you when I'm and Governor Abbott. I'm not waiting on you and where you stopping my growth. Now I'm asking, this is the thing. I'm asking for Judge Kennedy arrest, and I'm not gonna take no finessing. And the more you can't get what you want, they're gonna abuse their power because they know they had a racist motive. And they know they had a racist motive. Don't allow people to take you for granted and think they'll do it again. Now, when Joe Biden said something about, we saw a lot of this stuff, that lady on Houston still ran her mouth. And she was a part of the racist plot. So I told him to be very careful on what you say because you won't win either way. You would try to lie and find things on there where you think you know everything, right? And you got to realize the more that people start, I'm not going to keep going through this with you. And I got the Justice Department, spiritual warfare, letting the state of Texas community deal with conflict of jealous, the interact with conflict of jealous. That's another 35 million against you. And I told the civil rights, I filed a complaint on them with the civil rights and thing. That's another 35. And they don't even know because I'm going to put CRB in my tablet. My teacher taught me about the legislators. My teacher taught me about the senators and all the rest of it. You think I didn't know about those things? Boy, you really think the legislative branches, the senate, you really think Miss Chastity and everybody in my school taught me about the legislative branches, the branches, and the senator and them, and the net. You think I didn't? Oh yeah, autism, different positions. You think I didn't know all of that? We already know when we had a big goal ahead of us, and we already know. And I think that's why my teacher taught me about the legislative branch. It was a reason why I was taught about you. I learned about you, Senator K. It wasn't that hard for me to find them, to go where I needed to know. And I had to think of the teacher told me, and let me Google, let me find out something and remember these things. So those are the things. I just filed a racial complaint about the civil rights thing about on the civil rights that Trump was talking about Social Security and he want to know where they tax dollars, where the community be racist and the businesses take us for granted. And we don't want to do that. God said, when you play with your gifts, I will give my child gifts. When you antagonate and you think, and when you give gifts and others don't have gifts, I will give my child gifts, but I'm not going to let you antagonate those gifts that we get. My teacher didn't raise no dummy, you hear me? I didn't teach no dummy. They didn't work on me for you to make a fool out of me, Texas, and the Mayor Eric Johnson. Oh, I'm knowledge. And look what Judge Kennedy said. Do you know? Call my mom on the phone. Do you know your son be on the? I was working at computers at Newton Smith. You hear me, boy? Tell that woman you play. And I understand sign language. I had a classmate. My teacher worked with me. You heard me? And with my classmate, I'm a teacher, so I know how to read lips. And Dallas County playing stupid with Governor Abbott. I know how to read lips. Miss Chastity, I work with my classmate, Miss Chastity. Sometimes when I don't work on my work, Miss Chastity will show me, show me how to speak. I know how to read lips. And I'm warning the Mary Johnson and that lion, Miss West, and the state attorney. Then they acting like they're in the Matrix reload. They're like they're in the Matrix. The IPS workers say you telling in different courtrooms misbehaving themselves. Or you think I didn't see your spirit? Or they really think you took something. You took something. And I'm not going to keep letting you have a racist agenda. And the mayor lied. I asked for the mayor arrest. And I told the civil rights, if the mayor don't be arrested in the Black City Hall, he talking about I own this city, you have a racist motive. And I'm telling you to stick down. That is discrimination. At the mayor and city hall, the black member and everybody involved in this racial thing, do not step down and be put in jail. God said things that need to happen in this domain. Don't you play with me. And I keep telling them, they really think I don't have no damn sense. They really got a damn problem. Like, really? You better act. And he couldn't speak, but my teacher was like, and my other classmate would be like, at Newman Smith High School, and I had to watch, and sometimes I finish my work before anybody, and I would watch my classmates, and I would watch them. I would watch Miss Chastity, Miss Lynn, any one of my teachers in different classes. I got more teachers. I got to remember Mr. Charlie, Mr. Lee, and it's more people at Newman Smith. I had to watch and I had to analyze my cheerleader coach teacher. I had to really, when she helped the cheerleader, because she's beautiful, but I had to study her the most. And we went to Brookhaven Nursing Home more than 2 times, and they never accepted me. So they always, even that when I went to Merritt Grind, they picked somebody else. And I said, hold up. My thing is to stay next to my co-op teacher, Miss she's a teacher, and analyze her. I couldn't worry about me not getting a job and people doing the things that they did at the Brookhaven Nursing Home. I really had to stay under my teacher if I really wanted to be more, and I just couldn't focus on that. And that was the most analyzing her and just studying her. And my thing was to study my teachers and how they work. I sit up there and watch my teachers. And if it was Mr. Charlie, and we playing Connect Four, and we playing Monopoly, checkers, and we playing different things, and we troubled. And sometimes I still had to help out with the students, and we put our things down. But Mr. Charlie made it really challenging for me, even when I came on the weekends. And I never forget the moments that me and Mr. Charlie had at Newman Smith, even when I came in the summertime, if it was at Creekview and all of that, Mr. Charlie used to be, and they had 3 classrooms. It was just not Miss Chastity, Miss Lynn used to be there, other teachers, and at Creekview and all the rest of this thing. But they told me, like, but no matter what, you still have a chance to come, no matter what. Like, and I'm not gonna let other people's behavior ruin me, because Miss Chastity and them and the rest of them, Miss Lynn and everybody else, Mr. Lee, no, I'm not like that. And and that's an embarrassment. That's an embarrassment of lies. Miss Dolores know you're a liar, and she looked at me wrong. So, and I don't. Miss Dolores always had a smile on her face, When I worked there, she came in the store in Addison and Dallas. You're a liar. You're a liar, Mary Johnson, and I want no part of you. I want no part of you. God don't even believe in your city. And Governor Abbott think that cute, man. That's not cute. That's not cute, man. And that's not funny. And we dealing with that. And that's not cute or funny. So we allow that to be happening.